All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a concept that perfectly bridges the gap between the microscopic world of biology and some of the most expansive theological ideas out there. We often look at the natural world and take its daily, quiet operations entirely for granted. But what if the simple act of a plant growing in your backyard is actually a tangible, visual representation of a massive, universal recording system? That's exactly what the source material we're exploring today suggests. We're going to see how ancient texts and profound philosophical observations perfectly mirror what we now know about modern genetics, revealing a universe that literally remembers everything. Let's start with Section 1, Nature's Hidden Program. It's so incredibly easy to walk past a towering oak tree or, just a simple patch of grass and only see green leaves swaying in the wind. But when we actually slow down and look closely, we have to ask a really fundamental question. Where is the tree's program actually stored? Think about it. A tree runs the exact same biological program from the same type of seed year after year. From this tiny, seemingly lifeless speck of matter, an entire complex organism emerges with staggering precision. I mean, it knows exactly where every single branch will grow. It knows precisely when every leaf should open to catch the spring sun and when to drop them before the winter frost. So ask yourself, where is that instructional blueprint kept? How does the tree just know what to do with such flawless execution? It's clearly not making things up on the fly. It's following a deeply embedded, highly sophisticated set of instructions. It's literally like there's a pre-written page dictating the plant's entire existence and biological rhythm, a script written directly into nature. It's dictated, it's executed, and then, remarkably, it's repeated seamlessly, season after season, century after century. The mighty oak and the delicate tulip, they don't deviate from their intended paths. They simply read their internal script and perform their biological functions to absolute perfection. And this idea of a hidden, constantly executing script in nature, well, that sets the stage for a much bigger, much more profound question about how everything in the universe, not just plants, but all actions and events might be meticulously recorded. Which brings us to Section 2, the Cosmic Book. So to grasp this concept of recording on a grander scale, we can look to ancient texts. The Qur'an, specifically in Surah Takwir, hints at this massive cosmic recording system. It describes this profound moment with just a few words: when the pages are laid open. And this verse is pointing to an ultimate ledger of existence, a defining moment when the pages, containing everyone's actions, histories, and deeds, are finally revealed. It's a really heavy, powerful theological image, right? The idea that absolutely nothing is lost, nothing is forgotten, and every single event is meticulously documented on a cosmic scale. Now, to connect this immense cosmic concept back to that simple tree we were just talking about, we turn to the philosopher Bediuzzaman. In his philosophical work titled The 10th Word, he takes this incredibly abstract cosmic idea of recorded pages and brilliantly grounds it in the natural world we observe every single day. What's so captivating here is that he doesn't just leave the theology floating up in the clouds, he brings it right down to the soil. He looks at a regular spring meadow and essentially sees a vast living library. He points out that plants aren't just growing randomly or by accident. According to his observations, every fruit-bearing tree and blooming grass has specific deeds, which he calls ameller, and assigned duties, or good of lair. The act of stretching roots deep into the earth, bearing sweet fruits, pumping out oxygen, blooming in these vibrant colors, these are literal duties being fulfilled. And here's the kicker. All of these biological actions constitute a perfectly recorded history. Every single time a tree blossoms, it's performing a deed, and that deed is permanently logged in nature's ledger. So the really crucial point here is that all these actions, all these histories and fulfilled duties, they aren't just lost to the wind when autumn rolls around and the leaves fall. No, they are written and stored tightly within the tiny, compact seeds produced by the plant, just waiting to reemerge in a new spring and in completely different soil. The seed acts as the physical manifestation of that cosmic record. It's basically a compressed time capsule, carrying the past history of the parent tree and the precise future blueprint of the next generation. It forms this continuous, unbroken chain of recorded existence that survives even the harshest winters. Let's move to Section 3, Genetics and Divine Records. Now, this is where it gets absolutely fascinating, because this philosophical observation leads us to a stunning synthesis with modern science. When we actually compare genetic information to this theological concept of a page of deeds, they mirror each other perfectly. When Bediuzzaman was writing about these concepts, he was using theological language to describe exactly what biologists would later view through powerful microscopes. Science tells us a seed holds its entire history and future embedded as complex biological code. Theology speaks of an Amel Saifa, a page of deeds, where actions and duties are universally recorded. Guys, they are describing the exact same phenomenon. It's a highly compressed, deeply sophisticated storage system that carries the blueprint of life, memory, and history forward through time. And what this brilliantly shows us is that the abstract idea of a cosmic record isn't just some distant theological mystery that we can't possibly wrap our heads around. It's a tangible, physical recording system that nature executes flawlessly every single day, right in front of our eyes. Every time you hold a tiny acorn in your hand, you are essentially holding a dense biological hard drive. You're holding a literal book of deeds written in the incredibly complex language of carbon and DNA. It proves that the concept of universal recording is not just a metaphor. It is woven into the very fabric and mechanics of the physical world. Finally, Section 4, your personal record. So let's zoom out from the microscopic genetic code of a seed to the macro reality of our own human lives. Because if this vast recording system is true for a simple patch of grass, it has profound implications for us. If the universe so carefully records the deeds, the history, and the exact biological script of a single leaf, compressing it perfectly into a tiny seed to be remembered and reborn, how does it make you feel to know your own life's pages are being meticulously written? Does the idea of a universal ledger make you feel more responsible for your everyday actions? Or does it actually bring you a sense of deep peace, knowing that absolutely nothing you do goes unnoticed, and that your existence is permanently etched into the grand record of the universe? It's a heavy, beautifully complex thought to carry with you today. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I highly encourage you to look at the trees just a little bit differently the next time you step outside.